The Way of the Wolf by Jordan Belfort. Welcome to my channel. My name is Samuel and I want to make self-growth normal. If you want to make self-growth normal, because I don't want to do it alone. Who doesn't want to make self-growth normal? Then make sure to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Helps with ranking and SEO and all this other stuff, and I really appreciate it because so much work goes into making these videos. I love that he says in the beginning, what they say about me is true. I remember how it felt to find out that the Wolf of Wall Street was like a real life human being and not just some fictional character. Something I haven't heard so strongly emphasized before in any other sales book, maybe, is that all sales are the same. And I don't think that he means that they're the exact same thing, but like what he says in this, what he calls his straight line selling system, is that they all have three things in common and you need all three of them to the utmost degree in order to make the sale. Conversely, if you are missing any of them, you have absolutely no chance of making the sale. He calls these the 3 tens. Originally I thought it was tents. I was like, what? Wolves tents? What is this? Some kind of like Indian Native American like tribal thing going on? But it's tens. The number, and they all have to do with certainty. It's all on a certainty scale. In fact, he tells an awesome story about this and his like salespeople at some point, like, well,
this is why we're not doing well. Everyone's just giving us thousands and thousands of objections and we don't know what to do.
And he's like, okay guys, let's write all of them down. All thousand objections. In 30 minutes or so, they came up with 14 different objections. A total of 14. They were all variables of two different ones. I don't remember which ones. It usually has something to do with money or time or the spouse. The author says that objections are like smoke screens that prospects use. They like to just throw them up and hope that you are not uncovering like the true thing that's bothering them most about the idea of going through with your offer. Like, how many prospects, instead of saying, you know, we don't have enough money, or I gotta talk to my wife, or these people never answer our phone calls, or our competition, or your competition's more local, or we're not interested, are really gonna tell you up front, we don't trust you enough because in the time that you spent with us, you didn't build enough rapport and offer enough value in terms of the potential business relationship that we are sold on your offer. Or actually, we aren't buying anything today because we're scared that you're going to take all of that time to build up our impulse and we will make a decision that we will regret afterwards. And we are scared of that regret because your product cannot show us the other side of that fence after you leave, on top of its presentation. And building that unwavering confidence is a matter of sort of a inner transformation, something that many companies today do not care about, let alone have an interest in being interested in or understanding the importance of. The author of this book, Jordan Belfort's thank you. His approach to this involves NLP, which, if you've seen my most probably viewed book review ever, you know, without the help of an author's retweet, you know a thing or two about the absurd power of NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. This is not really talking about neuro-linguistic programming, at least on the side of like the prospect. It's more on using it toward yourself. Some people associate the former with manipulation tactics and the like, and people like my hero, Grant Cardone, despise that. As far as the chapters about like advanced body language, I was talking to a rep at my company and in a few months he went from like nothing to one of the top percentage closers in the department. And he said, you know, if you're going into this department for sales, to simply start by just getting the script down and nailing the script. And then focus on all the sneaky stuff. Like, you know, the more subtle differences and the more subtle differences that the masters get down. Very specific tonal differences in speaking and body language stuff like that is sneaky compared to the obvious like conscious verbal and relatively non-verbal communications that people who don't know that much about body language can easily, you know, kind of pick up on. Be like, his feet were pointing this way. You could kind of hear it in the way he was talking. It sounded like he didn't care that much. Some of the stuff like how to lower their action threshold, the threshold of certainty at which they're more likely to take action and be like, okay, it's time to buy this. What changes and lowers that threshold? What raises it? If all three of those 10s on a certainty scale are, on average 8. Some types of buyers, the author also goes over the 4 different buyer types. Some of them might not want to buy if it's at an 8, but they would if it's at a 9, or if it's at a 6 or something like that. And it's just like, I'm in canvassing. It's like baby sales. We all start somewhere, and maybe this sounds weird, coming from me, I guess. Some of the stuff in this, at least the second half of the book, sounds particularly advanced. And perhaps sneaky. Definitely not all of it, but again, I don't know. I wrote and filmed this off of my Adderall. Honestly, it's a tad all over the place, and not in a good way. I don't think. So I don't give my review a good review, but the book I do give a good review. The book is all over the place in a good way, I'll put it that way. Quotes, "Their past does not equal their future unless they choose to live there. There is no combination of words that are profound enough and stealthy enough to sneak past the logical perspective of your prospect's mind and create an emotional reaction that goes straight to their gut." Direction 1. Okay, so let's say this is meant to be a rather advanced sales book. I mean, there is some science he talks about in here. Like, we're speaking in lizard brain terms. I do really admire when authors write books for particular skill levels, or what have you, so if that was intended, well, Jordan, you hit the nail on the head with this one. I recommend this book if you think you know enough about sales. So I guess prepare to be a little enlightened. Some of the stuff he talks about, and there's a little bit of perspective as well. The whole straight line system he explains in the beginning for my fellow visual learners. Even if you know nothing about sales, I promise you, it'll blow your mind. It makes sense out of a lot of confusing things in terms of where the sale is going and how if you don't think it's going where it should be going, how that can actually be a good thing. And I think that part is way more for beginners because, I don't know, to me it made a ton of sense. I was like my brain, my whole head just like, I had to grow a new one. Direction 2. If you like this book, check out Pitch Anything by Oren Klaff and Klaff, I think it's one of those, and The Psychology of Selling by the one and only Brian Tracy. The Way of the Wolf by Jordan Belfort. There's a link in the description if you guys want to check it out and read the reviews. That and all the other books that I mentioned in this video if you want to check those out as well. If there are any other books that you guys want me to check out and review, please let me know in the comments below. Also let me know if you checked out this book and you liked it, but hey, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, because I don't know why people watch this far into my videos and they don't subscribe, but if you have subscribed and you want to turn it up just a notch and turn on that notification bell to receive a notification every time I drop a new video, that would mean the world to me. Thank you guys so much for watching, I really appreciate it. You can find me everywhere, and I will see you then.